Welcome back. We
took a little break.
We took a break. So we figured you needed to take a break too before we bring you the second article that we were talking about on Magazine Moments Judgy Pants.
Yes. So we're both back and we're going to discuss the 10 things you will always regret throwing away. So enjoy. And that's it.
Yes, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, so this article is from Real Simple and it's dated May 9th, 2024.
Okay.
And it starts out by saying nothing is quite as liberating as thoroughly throwing stuff away.
Thoroughly
throwing away. That's why I kind of stuttered there because I thought I must be reading this, incorrectly. Eliminating excess clutter will leave your place feeling more spacious and your mind more at ease. Yes, that is true. But they're now talking about things that you will regret throwing away. So number one is important documents. I agree with that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Personal documents such as your birth certificate, social security card, health records, marriage license, and the deed to your home. Those are all things that you should be keeping. Don't just shred it and toss it away. Tax documents and financial papers should be kept for at least 7 years before discarding. That all makes sense to me.
Yep.
But other papers, like manuals to things you don't own anymore,
right,
throw those away.
Go.
Okay, number 2 is handwritten notes from loved ones.
Those can be really nice.
Yeah, they're saying that because this is the digital age, physical letters, cards, and messages are becoming increasingly rare. And that's why the personal notes from those near and dear to you can be good to hold on to. And I agree with that.
I do too.
But again, I don't think you have to keep every single one. Keep the ones that are most important to you. Number 3 is photos of friends and family. Now, this one's hard because if you're somebody like me who inherited all the old family photos, so I got photos from the 1940s all the way up to now, and 60 years of those were my parents. It can be daunting to go through those because their photos, a lot of them don't mean anything to me. The people don't mean anything to me, and they take up a lot of space. So if you don't want to keep the physical photos, maybe scan it or take a picture of it and, organize it that way rather than just throwing them all away. If you have a huge stash of old photos you're storing, it may be a good idea to digitize the images. Yes, I agree with that.
I agree with that.
Okay, number 4 is leftover wall paint. We discussed keeping leftover wall paint. It can be good, but it's more important to keep the brand and the number and maybe a little swatch of it, because they can do color matching nowadays. So they're actually saying transfer any remaining jar paint into a smaller airtight jars labeled with the color name, number, brand, and what the color was used for in your home. And then ditch the empty, bulky paint cans to save space.
And thus those jars.
I know, really, that you were supposed to keep. In the first article we talked about. Number 5 is cookware. They're talking about heirloom cookware. So things like stoneware, enamelware, cast iron things. They're saying that you'll regret tossing them.
Well, some, but like my parents used Guardianware, which is aluminum, and that is not good for you. And so yeah, we don't. Any of the Guardianware that we have, it ends up being out in the garden. We'll plant a plant in it or something because it's just not healthy to use aluminum to cook on.
But, if you're getting rid of your cast iron stuff, post it on Buy Nothing or give it to Goodwill,
Hmm.
and somebody else will come along and they'll restore it.
Oh, they will, and they'll be very happy.
Yeah. So number 6 is irreplaceable antiques.
Okay.
It says you'll regret getting rid of them. Like tea
Well, it
sets,
really depends
jewelry.
on who it is. Some people just are not into antiques at all.
I agree.
So, offer it. I would suggest offering it to someone else in the family if it has, otherwise sell it, give it away,
Yeah. Yeah, I
whatever.
agree.
If it's
I don't
not,
understand why you're going to regret it. Special mementos from travels or experiences.
are they saying not to throw them away?
Yes, you're going to regret throwing them away.
Oh, no, we don't. I can say with true honesty that we have thrown away souvenirs and we're still okay.
Now, I've started collecting. Um, we usually will try to buy when we go on a family trip, like a Christmas tree ornament, and then
Mhm.
when you bring them out, you go, "Oh, remember when we went there?" And it starts a conversation.
Right.
Um, but those are little, and it's not something that's lying around all over the house. Their tip is pick souvenirs that are useful, such as umbrellas, teacups, and scarves, so you can spark a little joy in your daily life.
Teacups? Are you kidding me? How many times have I had to clear through my mug count
And it
cupboard?
depends on how much you travel too.
Right.
You could have a ton of these things. Okay,
Yeah.
number 8 is childhood favorites or for you or your kids.
Well, okay, that's been kind of a little bit tougher for me. What I hang on to from my childhood are the books. So there were books that I got from Scholastic when I was growing up, all through, mainly through grade school. And I can't get rid of those books. I pull them out every few years and reread them just because it was a happy time.
Yeah.
And so it puts me back in that era.
I agree that if it's really special to your kids, then have
Hang
them
on.
take ownership of it. You don't have to keep it for them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Number 9 is clothing you adore that's fallen out of fashion.
Oh, honey, anything's in fashion if I adore it.
So I agree with that. I mean, don't let other don't let trends dictate what you wear.
Yeah.
And if you really, really like it, then keep it. But you also have to remember if you have a whole closet full of things that you're wearing regularly, then that just becomes your style. So
Right.
own it. Don't
Right.
just
Right.
don't just keep it in a closet.
True.
So use the clothes that you have. And
Right.
number 10 is anything that brings you joy, that you'll regret it if you give it away.
Well, that depends on the person because sometimes if it's something that brings me joy, but I have, if I have somebody come by or stop by or whatever, and they just love it, I'm okay giving it to them.
Yeah.
So it really, you can either share that or not. It's like when it came to my parents' estate stuff, which there was, this much, but I had a ring that one of the rings that my mother wore, and she had found it in a glove box of a car they took in on trade decades ago.
Right.
And my sister came through town and she liked it and it fit her perfect. And so I took it off my finger and gave it to her. And there's been a couple times I've kind of twinged on that and gone, oh, that ring. But I've got the other ring. I'm good. So yeah, so it's interesting. And it's not really regret. It's just kind of a heavy sigh.
I mean, I do agree that if you really, really like something and you're not ready to let it go, then
Keep it.
keep it.
Yeah.
But you have to put a limit on things that you're keeping just because you like it.
Hmm.
Because if you like everything, then the consequence of that is you live in a house filled with stuff that you say you like, but it's not allowing you to live your life to the fullest.
Right.
And you know, we 80% of the time we use only 20% of the stuff we have.
That is so true with
So
everything.
what about all the other stuff that you have for maybe, or yeah,
Yeah.
it's, I mean, when I say that, I think of clothing more than anything.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's true for like cooking utensils and things like that. I'm guilty of that.
Oh, me too. I When it comes to the kitchen, all my utensils and all my little doodads and things are those are important to me and they make me happy. And I have
You,
the right tool for the right job.
you know
All
what's bad when you go and stay with somebody else and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to make this? Because
I
I
know.
don't have this and I don't have that, because it's become part of who you are. But
Right.
yeah, so we didn't disagree with as much in
Hmm.
this article as we did in the first one about things that you should
Never.
always keep, or no, or don't get rid of it because you'll regret it.
Yeah. No, I honestly, the majority of people that I have talked to through ABC, um, there's been maybe like one or two people that have had one little item that they kind of regretted, but they're on the fence about regretting it. And so that's me. It's hard sometimes to let those things truly go. So
Yeah,
you let them go, and those that sentiment is still around for a while, but that'll smooth out, and you'll look around and see that you have more space in your home and all that, and you'll realize, oh yeah, I'm good. Out of sight, out of mind too.
right.
So
Yeah, the one of the few things I regret, and I don't know if some people may have heard this before, is my grandmother used to sew these funny looking dolls that they were like beanbag dolls. So the
mhm,
face was handcrafted and it was stuffed with like batting or something. But then the body was floppy because it had beanbags in it. And it started disintegrating. There started to be was weird dust coming out of it. So I threw it away rather than thinking I can restuff it. And afterwards I thought, oh my gosh, I should have kept it because that was made by my grandma.
right,
But really, it only had meaning to me and my siblings. My kids didn't know my grandmother.
right.
So they would have just looked and go, why does mom have this really weird thing? So
Yeah.
it's still up here, even though
Hmm.
it's not physically here.
Right, right. Yeah, it's interesting. And honestly, I think we've been really good at helping people kind of look at things a little differently, rather than, oh, I have to keep it. This was mom's and I have to keep it.
Right.
It's like, no, you don't. If it doesn't spark some kind of interest with you, you don't need it. It's give it to someone
It's
else
just
or give it
stuff.
away. It's just stuff. And I always try to keep in mind, uh, for me, I remember Hurricane Katrina being so huge, and people lost everything. The house, everything was gone. And so I try to keep that in mind. You know what? At least I didn't live in New Orleans when Hurricane Katrina came
Yeah.
through. I still have some family things. So it's like if I had to start all over again, okay, I I would do that. I would try to be more intentional because I'm smarter now. But that's kind of how I feel about that. Let it go.
So that's our magazine moments.
It
Judgy
is
pants style.
our Judgy Pants style. So make sure you check back with us next week. We'll have another episode of the JJ's Declutter podcast. And until then, keep it simple.
Keep it intentional.
And as always, keep
Keep
decluttering.
decluttering.
Thanks, guys.